Stand by. Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
To just let me show you, I'll give you mine. Deep inside, I want to just let me be. Every single second of today. Show you, I'll give you mine.
Congratulations to the champion of Free Fire World Series C 2024 Spring in this grand final, Team Vaga!
Ever pushing forward without rest. All compete to bring honor to their homeland. The battle for greatness begins. Fight for legacy.
Survivors, welcome our 12th grand finalists on the stage. Xin chào Việt Nam. Come on. Go
need a beat.
Where shadows crawl. The battle rouse fierce, Sticky's prize fall. To claim the crown at Free Fire World Series C 2024 fall. Fight for legacy! Halo Surabaya! Saya Yusuf dan Anita Deli.
Wow, dia pakai bahasa Indonesia. Luar biasa. We want to look how about performance Indonesian team, right?
Yep, absolutely. The stage today is so beautiful, so gorgeous. The light, I love it so much. What about you, Beverly?
Excited because hear many audience. So I want to check first. Survivor Surabaya, make some noise! Woo!
Getting hot in here. Well, let's go down and have a chat.
Oh yeah, exactly. We need one audience to interview first, okay? So, ada yang mau ngobrol dulu? Siapa yang mau ngobrol? Come on! Is it okay? Bisa bahasa Inggris kan? Bisa ya? Oke, bisa jawab pakai bahasa Inggris ya.
Here's our audience right now at the stage, really crowded. Looks like he's wearing a jersey from RQ. Hi, what is your name?
Oh,
Apa? Siapa nama kamu?
my name is Maul.
Oh, nice to meet. How does he feel about the stage today?
Apa yang kamu rasain tentang panggung yang ada di sini?
I feel the set is very good.
Oh my gosh, okay then.
Yes. Is it your friends?
Oh.
Komunitas.
Oh,
RQ Kingdom.
RQ Kingdom. Wow.
yes. Our community, RRQ Kingdom.
I see.
Yes.
Okay.
So what do you want to say to RRQ about performance today?
Untuk RRQ ya semangat saja. Ini ya permainan ini juara itu bonus.
Keep support and spirit for RRQ Kazu.
Ooh, maybe that is his magic word then to RQ as well. Thank you, Mas, so much. Then, can I find a Bigetron Delta Esport fans, please? Can I see your hands? Oh,
Big Tropers!
make some noise, everyone! Semuanya, mana suaranya? Surabaya! Thank you, everyone. Okay, hello. What is your name?
My name is Edwin.
Edwin. Okay, so you are here for Bigetron Delta Esport, right? From the jersey I can see. Any magic words you want to send to them right now?
Guys, lolos ke global, juara bonus. Semangat. Yeah, I told them.
Oh my gosh. Well, Bigetron Delta Esport did a very great job on the 2-day Power Stage. Congratulations to you as well, and hope today you and your fans and also your team can have a very beautiful ending to Brazil. Okay, keep fighting.
Good
Thank
luck.
you so much.
Good luck, good luck.
Good luck to you, Mal.
Thank you so much
Thank you so
for
much,
Big
everyone. You can go
Troopers
back to
and
your seat.
RRQ Kingdom. So survivors, we can see how each team performance today.
Atmosphere here. Okay, Beverly, I think it's time for us jump right into our first game and let's head back to the caster.
Yes.
Okay then. Free Fire World Series Southeast
Southeast
Asia
Asia
2024 Fall Fight for Legacy!
One in terms of the pro, but he is just going to buy himself a few extra seconds to tackle around out and
Namanya layak di sini lah, jago-jago.
Kyung, Poppy saw his teammate in front but can't get to him. Poppy get knocked down. The electrotherapy too strong.
100% kita bakal juara di sini.
Wow, he's gonna take out as well. He just cannot outlast VRU, but
ผมก็อยากให้เข้าทั้งห้า
the final player bleeding out. He's got the horizon line, but they finish him off before he can be picked up.
น่าจะเป็นจริงก็ไม่มีทีมไหนน่ากลัวก็ตายหมด
PDR wiping the floor, and the cheers is gonna power them through. Jonah, can he hang on? He cannot.
Out, knocked out off this. Ikal drop. Bigetron Delta secures yet another booyah.
Bakal percaya sih bakal 3 tim Indo ini bakal lolos ke Brazil nanti.
6 weeks of breathtaking to qualify, all their mistakes to identify and rectify. But it all boils down to this day. 6 games is all they have to play. To many, this life is a fantasy, but to these players, this is their fight for legacy. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is AJ. I'm the Mustachio here with the one and only Husky, your casters for this day. The grand finals of the Free Fire World Series Southeast Asia 2024 fall. Do we get to see the Falcon again to rip it all away from these other teams that actually think they have it, Husky? Or are we gonna see a bare crown for Southeast Asia?
So many storylines culminating to this one moment. The golden road for Team Falcons, the reignition of Indonesia on Delta, a new life, a new king, and also the reignition at the same time, the dynasty of Buriram United. So 1 year of championship drought, so many things could happen. It could be Vietnam season as well, right? This is the best season that we've seen. 5 teams qualifying to the grand finals, and of course, all of them are at the doorstep of Free Fire World Series Global. But of course, it sees limited tickets to Brazil. They gotta earn it.
Well, I am gonna officially dub it as the Wasana curse, because ever since that powerhouse joined Buriram United Esports, they have not won a single title. That's mind-blowing, because what was, I dare say, one of the best players, if not the best slayer out there in the world of Free Fire. So they have most definitely been on a drought thus far, but Bigatron Delta trying to make history here for themselves if they are able to use all of that learning through 18 match days that they took in that marathon of knockout stage. Because we out during Point Rush, those 2 days they managed to secure 17 points, just as much as your 2-time world champs Buriram themselves, all to culminate down to this one final day where 6 games will call exactly who got to really fight and win for their own legacy.
And that itself also means that some of these teams might have an innate advantage, because this is kind of a minor throwback to how the previous format is, right? Your entire tournament life hinges on one grand finals with 6 rounds. BRU definitely have been in. But for some teams, it's a new experience. Like AJ said, we've went through so many play days. We've went to 18 play days for the knockout stage, 2 more in the past 2 days for Point Rush, and today is where we either write a new chapter in Free Fire history, or we will rewrite history, the remaster of Adobe BRU. There's only one way to find out. These 6 rounds will be the most important 6 rounds in the player's career.
Oh yeah, amen. And a hell lot of money up here on the table for them to grab in the form of a pie. How big of a slice you get from this pie is all up to you, and how much of hustle you can throw into this game. The number 1 spot, biggest slice, but $100,000 I have to say is mind-blowing for anyone that can walk away with it.
To some people, it's life-changing money. And of course, we still have to follow the holy covenant of competitive Free Fire. Booyah gives you 12 points. Every elimination, 1 point. And over time, it's been established that eliminations is king. So if you're good at fighting and you have the survival instincts, you are well set to walk away as the victors.
I mean, nothing changes if you can hustle, if you can get all of those eliminations, you can try to help yourself. But if you do end up on a tiebreaker, we follow by these 3 rules to break you out of it. And the eliminations that I talked about, worst case scenario, we'll have to look at the survival ranks of the final round played. So definitely be able to see exactly who takes the higher as well as the lowest spots. But fingers crossed, we don't need those tiebreakers. We got a different form of a potential tiebreaker bonus. The Point Rush stage that we had the past 2 days allowed to accumulate bonus points for today's day of play. 2 teams got the exact same, once again, Buriram United Esports as well as Bigatron Delta, claiming 17 points as they switched between each other as to who took that number 1 and number 2 spots. Mind-blowing, because RRQ could not catch up with them.
And these 3 teams will be joined by AG Global, Twisted Minds, Team Falcons, Attack All Around, WAG, Evil's Divine, Hua Esports, GOW, and Heavy. And admittedly, some of these teams didn't really step up yesterday. Some of these teams had a great start, but started falling off in the middle, right? Like Hua, it's primarily the Vietnamese teams, unfortunately. Hua Esports, WAG, Heavy having an insanely tough Point Rush. Hopefully today they get to turn it around. But again, you give BRU 17 head start points. That is already a massive advantage.
I mean, no doubt at all. You know, WAG, the best Vietnamese squad during the knockout stage, couldn't cut it on the point rush. Unfortunately, nothing at all they walked away with. And they are not the only Vietnamese team that got tortured during point rush. Hua Esports, a great first week at the knockout stage, couldn't really show up much after that. I thought we were going to see the resurgence here final week, but I'm still standing disappointed. I want to see more. Perhaps today will be the day they deliver. These were the points that we were talking about. Towards the very bottom on that right hand side, you get nothing away. GOW at the very least managed to scrape away with 3 points.
And they were the best performing team, considering how Vietnam has really proven their evolution throughout for this season itself. But it seems like they are now back in that plateau.
Yeah.
Can they break through it when it matters the most? We've said this about so many other teams, even BRU at certain points at the time. But if you guys want inputs from your favorite streamers, we got all of the assortment from different languages. From Indonesia, we got Ledda, F Dewe. From Vietnam, we got Vaga. And from Thailand, we got Deadboo. So if you guys are interested, do check them out, give them a shout out. Support have been keeping Free Fire alive.
Even if you don't support them, drop by their pages, drop them a like, drop them a share. It won't take you more than a couple of seconds. We most definitely want to make this one a tad selves here on the casting desk for all of the audience watching from home, as well as the streamers that are supporting our broadcast. Now let's take a look at some of the stats here that we need to crunch. Whether or not it's going to make any bit of difference during the grand finals based on what they accumulated, we'll have to wait and see. Twisted Minds, a little twisted in their approach, but not the #1 squad that the teams out there need to really worry about.
Ever since Saming went to the reverse rate, before they were Twisted Minds, they have been in every single grand finals, right?
Yeah.
In fact, they were the first team to qualify for EWC as reverse red before being picked up by Twisted Minds. And it's good that Twisted Minds faith that they would see them in Brazil again in just, short of 2 months. But they're not just going up against 11 other teams. They're going up against the entirety of Surabaya Convention Center, Evil's Divine Crowd Kingdom there. You got the robots from Bigatron Delta, the only 3 survivors of the Indonesian region, which in of itself is pretty shocking, right? Considering we expected all of them to be there, but these 3 are gonna kind of carry the torch and hopefully keep that trophy in Indonesia.
Yeah, Onyx Olympus not going to be too happy with flunking out. Star Knights as well, quite tortured. But this was the Southeast Asian League that nobody anticipated would turn out in this way, especially because Vietnam came out explosive. I mean, WAG proving themselves, 11 booyahs in total during the knockout stage. Nobody would have thought that was a possibility. WAG did even better than both Evo's Divine as well as Bigatron Delta, which is mind-blowing to say the least. Hua Esports, GOW, heavy scraping through as well. We saw many shockers. We saw PE Sports not making it through to the final week. One infraction that took away 15 points from them. If 15 points had stayed, Heavy would not be here today.
Yeah, that too, right? Which is I think it's very unfortunate. But then again, we have other teams that had infractions and they're still here. In PE Sports, I feel they have a lot to work on. But I guess, this is the off season for them, right? Plenty of time to recoup for 2025. But for now, I'm looking to see which scenario would happen. Either the fans are going to make the teams or they're going to end up breaking the teams, right? Like some of them function great under pressure. Like for example, Team Falcons averaged 4th across eliminations, damage, and assists. But the Esports World Cup, they had the entire arena cheering for them. Now, the arena is cheering against them. Yeah,
I mean, that arena is going to be cheering against them because as of right now, Falcons hasn't really made so much of noise where the Indonesian region is going to be worried about them. In fact, they have been pretty disappointing with most of their approaches. Even during point rush, they couldn't really do much. So these numbers, I would say, is a misrepresentation of what this team is capable of. I mean, we've seen Peter just absolutely pop, players' heads off on the battlefield. CQC, he is a master. He leads his team to victory. We see a little bit of a change in the roster as well as they bring Kororo in. But in the overall grand scheme of things, I don't see a weaker Falcon. I see a stronger one in terms of lineup. But I dare say, they are faking it. I think we are going to see what they're truly made of today. And
I surely hope that's the case, right? A part of me want that to be the actual truth. And if it is, well, you know what? They're going to bring Kororo a trophy, which he hasn't really touched for probably forever, right? And as well, I mean, a revelation for Team Falcons. it did change the dynamics of how they approach, right? Kiroro, because a sniper, then the grenadier that Koskyo is known for, the golden arm of Thailand. But regardless, the point rush isn't a full representation of what these teams are good at. Finals is what matters, right? I mean, every time I have to say that line, I feel like it is so crazy that no matter what you did previously, if you wake up on the wrong side of the bed today, nothing else matters.
Yeah, true enough. Your girlfriend broke up with you today. It doesn't matter. You got to focus on your matches. I mean, your boss is threatening to fire you if you don't go. But doesn't matter. You need to focus because everything is dependent on 6 games. Yes, there are some bonus points. Yes, that's going to give a little bit of an advantage to some of the teams that did manage to hit that high consistency on the first 2 days here of the final week. But nothing matters. You want to become champion, you have to go all out. And teams that did not manage to go crazy have shown us in the past during the knockout stages, one of those few days where we've seen them have those explosive rounds. In fact, the only team that has been standing out in a very different way during the point rush versus knockout stage is at more than 100 points. During the knockout stage, not a single day they hit more than 100 points. That's insane. In fact, some of the weeks they actually hit below 100 points plays over 2 days. So it's a different form altogether for Bigatron Delta. But for some of the other teams like RRQ, for AG Global, we know they don't need to perform consistently. They just need that one explosive day today.
Yeah, it really comes down to who is consistent and who can really pull it, right? Even Bigatron Delta has shown us a playstyle that is very different from majority of their competitors. Being I think one of the only team that runs a full utility, plays just as aggressive. And you gotta give credits to the current meta, especially with the active ability cards that can still give you certain aggressive abilities that you need to bolster your ranks. In this case, Bigatron Delta is in 3rd place when it comes to Bermuda. We got AG Global and RRQ Kazu as the top 3. And when we look back at yesterday, Bigatron Delta was the only team that showed up.
And this is a little bit of a surprise in the overall grand scheme of things to be able to see Bigatron Delta here as one of the top competitors for this map. Because, all throughout the competition, they weren't really making a lot of noise, right? These 2 Booyahs, is huge for them. Finally, they're starting to show their fangs. And when they are showing their fangs, especially in Point Rush, couldn't really stand up against them. Nobody has the solution for Bigatron Delta. And the exact opposite is the case for Bigatron Delta. They've got the fix for every single problem can bring to the table. They've tested out their powers already, and they know they've got the kryptonite for them.
Best part is that you look at some of the players, especially Ikao, who has missed out quite a number of grand finals appearance, right? When he was back with Thorad, just the last year alone, you look at the progression of his career from FFSI, there were some really low lows, and it does make you wonder, how is this shot caller, like what is going wrong, right? What went wrong for this shot caller? And now in Bigatron Delta, debuting in the fall season and now having the best chance at winning it all, the story of one of the greatest captains ever from Indonesia.
Bigatron Delta, they have got quite a number of fans sitting in the stadium here. I'm pretty sure the competition is going to be heated. And I'm actually quite impressed with what expected all of their teams to make it through, but quite a number of them are on this stage to represent the nation. And in the past, this was being made just by the Thai teams purely, right? But now you've got RRQ and Bigatron Delta joining this fray as well. And to a point where we're actually forgetting to mention some of the Thai teams. I mean, Twisted Minds, Attack, or barely talk about them anymore.
Yeah, especially Twisted Minds, we kind of glazed over the fact that they had won a trophy before. But Attack All Around, this could be the greatest redemption arc of all, right? Finally making best chance. But I'm not convinced just yet. I still think they're in the middle of the pack. There's something they're not showing us. Same like Hua and Evo. Teams who had decent showing. Hua, for example, great week number 1. Evo's kind of in the middle, right? Showing up once in a while. Very end, and even throughout Point Rush, you never really saw much of them.
Yeah.
Especially Evo's Divine, who couldn't get much going.
Yeah, I mean, Evo's Divine, especially here in Point Rush, they haven't really been made. During the knockout stages, I think Hua Esports was the... I don't want to say this, but I don't really know how to mince my words. They were the bigger disappointment for me because expectations were not there. And then they set it on the first week. And I mean, this is the roster of Team Flash, the good old team flash that really up with the pressure out there on the battlefield, and it was so impressive to see the recovery, the comeback. But that lasted for all of that 1 week, and then they weren't showing us that magic anymore. On the other hand, we're not too sure. They consistently just performed average, so that's where they were, right? So it's a good head-to-head to take between these two teams, but it's not really going to matter. Like you said, it's just whoever hustles the most out there. But the 3 stars that we must watch, Dew, Wasana, Diamond, I mean, whatever, whether or not their teams show up strong, these players always show up strong on the battlefield.
Yeah, and the best part is that Dio is still maintaining his presence in the Hall of Famers whenever we talk about players to watch, right?
Yeah.
Players that you need to look out for. And you compare these three, he is the only full sniper player, right? Like, the other two were rushers. Wasana, like you take him on 1v1, you are most likely, but he needs some help from Nameless every once in a while. They have shown the Cassie electrotherapy strat, bits and pieces of that throughout the knockout stage. But for Dio, always consistent. Problem with AG Global is the fact that have an off day, oh boy, they crashed super hard.
Yeah, and of course, and if you've got Wasana on your side, the Swiss Army knife of the squad, he can get it done with the snipers, he can get it done with the shotguns, he can be that survivor, he can pull off those revives, he can even get those medkit booyahs for the squad if it is absolutely required, right? But unfortunately, he is still the curse of Buriram United Esports. Ever since he joined this, they have not won a single trophy. And in fact, from the way I see it, they're getting a little bit further and further, because season after season, we're seeing more and more teams able to catch up. In fact, house Buriram in some of these battles and do so much better than them on a couple of days, right? Granted, knockout stage, they've gotten more points. Point rush, they've gotten more points. It is still, do they drop the ball on the final day? They've already done it the past 2 tournaments.
Yeah, it depends on whether that trophy is important, right? I mean,
yeah.
That itself is a pretty crazy question to ask. But if you just want the slot to globals, then sure, you don't need to necessarily finish first.
Yeah.
But it's nice to walk home with $100,000 US. You know, some extra cash would do wonders for some of these teams. And funny enough, Wasana and Saming were on the same team during FFSI, and afterwards, you know, Saming went to Reverse Red and Wasana went to BRU, and Saming won a trophy before Wasana did within that year, which was the ticket to EWC.
Yeah.
So let's see if Wasana can kind of even out the odds. We're going to finally step on the plane and see these parachutes, send them over to Bermuda where everything begins, where the lost ark will not be found. You see the players can make something out of it.
Yeah, let's see, baby. Time as the flight path cuts through our very first map of the day. Are we gonna see a fair fight here for everyone, or do we get a skilled flight path to bring disaster
Oh my God.
as we open up the grand finals?
Hot drop. Look at the southern side. Look at the southeastern side. This is madness. BRU is going to take peak. No one will fight them. But that southeastern side is crazy. You got 3 teams. You got AG Global, Evo's Divine, Hua Esports. I don't think they used to go there. I don't think that's their usual spot. But we're going to get first blood already. AVAX finding the first drop. AG Global also on bat is Hua Esports in front of them.
Oh, Garina just knows exactly how to do this, man. They kept it away, Husky, from us. Even the knockout stages, they didn't tease us with this. Grand Finals first game. What a flight. Due with the MP40. Shin has got the double vectors in hand, and he's going to be overwhelmed by the numbers. MP40 does back away. A124 tags him up in the backstab. Will put him on the ground. Unfortunate. Dew as well is not going to be able to do much in terms of pull one number away from Hua Esports. So the numbers disadvantage very early for AG Global.
Even attack all around, got a couple of eliminations W, right? So Vietnam taking a hit. But of course, Hua, if there's any time to show us that week 1 flair, this is it, right? You get that flair for the next 6 rounds, this trophy could just go home with you. And Hua Esports on the hunt again. AG Global, we talk about them having a bad start that might cascade into more, and it seems like that is coming true. Cypher goes down, so that's 3 members wiped out.
Yeah, the first one that got taken out was your week 5 Predator Dew. Cypher just went down, the week 4 Predator. So the strong hitters of the squad are out, but of course, the back there. Let's see if or not the revive comes through. Evo's Divine going to be helping out AG Global at this point of time. Unintentionally, of course. Choosing to attack Hua Esports from the back. They should be able to find the connection with Shin Fist. But Yanbin is in a great position to flank all around them. Ken, too far away. Death with the M82B. It's all a first connection. Who gets that sharp shot? If Death can find that first connection with the M82B, Hua Esports has an opportunity to pick up even more points here.
Apex has the Tatsuya. If he can get in your face, that vector kickoff will shred through your health bar. And Evo's Divine finding 2 already. AimGod needs a bit of help. They're getting back up. Apex does it, no problem. Shin gets knocked down. Evo's Divine coming in for a bit of a cleanup. Now Def is on the run, and he's being chased by Def himself. Knocked down by Gade. Evo's Divine landing some crazy and crucial shots. And only one survivor is left for Hua, but Evo's Divine, they're going to try and chase him down.
Will also hit that double revive for the squad, so AG Global still in it. Evo's Divine surely has managed to save AG Global, but Yan Bin, can he hit that revival here? No pocket market pulled out just yet. Evo's Divine, oh my goodness, open ground. I believe he needs more coins. Double shot, knife is out. Can he sneak away? Yes, he can. A couple of more bullets required. But Yan Bin, the man's not even recovering.
He got the revive, I think. Yeah, we have more than enough players to the revive, so Yan Bin can go down. But it's not going to matter too much.
Double kill.
But still 5 points for Evo's Divine to start it off. And meanwhile, GOW, I think, just lost to attack all around off screen. I would say if we are talking about a team that's having a horrible start, it's definitely GOW.
Well, GOW and Hua Esports, they need to bring back already. We started off the lobby at 48, now we've got 47, so most of those revives have been pulled in already. Attack all around up against Heavy on the other hand. Doesn't seem to be working right here for Attack all around. Jump God backing away. Potential outnumber coming through from Hans and Get Nice, but they split up. Jump God gets the tags, and Hans just does not fire right back, just trying to bait the players in towards the second floor.
You feel the nerves in the players of Heavy, really trying to flush out every single point. You gotta keep in mind that attack all around, it's all about information, right? They see Limit on the top side, so how do you redirect your focus? If you can take down the ground floor, Limit will not be able to do too much, and I think that's what Heavy wants to do. They're gonna try and isolate Poon God, with Hans keeping the rest of attack all around away, but they gotta start taking heads, and they're not able to do so. Attack groups in the secondary building, and now we're back to a stalemate.
The weak 6 Predator Limit trying to stay away from the rest of his team members, trying to bring some sort of a positive effect with his high ground advantage. Fortunately, one man down. Heavy has got a beautiful advantage here, but I guess we see what Limit is working with. The player goes down, Limit brings that revive back, all thanks to the pocket market. So I guess attack all around, just trying to bide their time here. Hans, one good trade coming back through. Can he get a double? Kabi says, hell no. Straight to the chest, and attack all around with Poon got revived and he flies away. Limit has to make sure he finds an exit strategy here, because Heavy should be able to overwhelm him in the next few seconds.
Very well done by Heavy. They saw Limit on that high ground. They know that Limit cannot provide support for his team if they fight in the building, and that's exactly what they do. They funnel attack all around into the compound. But this is one of the favorites, right? Indonesia against Team Falcons. BTR getting the first ever challenger, being the EWC champs. Koja needs a bit of support. Ika will try and give him that. They do have the roof, but on fire, and one more takes him down. Koja stood no chance.
The Falcon Hunters facing off against the Falcons themselves, but it looks like this bird knows how to peck away at their Predator. Kororo with the Bison. Oh, this little attic space will not make it for the side of Kororo. Grenade in though. Dix, is he going to be able to bring up that glue wall? Yes, he does. No damage at all from the grenade.
I wonder what the idea is. Maybe they try and circle around.
There you go.
Hyung just got knocked down. This
there
is
you go.
Horrible news for Bigatron Delta, losing another 2. I mean, Ika is still basically a lost child. He goes down, and Dix brings his teammate back. But this fight basically has ended. They're just feeding points to Falcons at this point. But it feels like they want to keep on fighting. Dix finds a knockdown into Kororo, but unfortunately, can't really do too much about that. He ends up going down. Anyways, Falcons have 9 points.
Brilliant play overall from Bigatron Delta with the timely save on the revive. Question is, can the boy drop back into this battlefield without getting shot out of the air? Bigatron Delta met their match very early on, a match that they have given away 2 all throughout the knockout stage. They dominated the Falcons, but at the same time allowing Falcons to read all of their playstyle. Initially, in the knockout stage, Falcons had no recipe to counter any of Bigatron Delta had. Clearly, that 4v4 gunfight shows us all of the lessons learned.
This is a very good start, right? Considering the head start points for Falcons wasn't really that much. Now, I think this covers the basis, right? This is the foundation. They've laid the bricks to cover what they didn't get in Point Rush. And now, if they close out the round, you basically catch up to BRU and Bigatron Delta, especially Bigatron Delta, who are absolutely suffering despite having...
I'm not going to count them out yet, because Man hit that revive and he didn't get shot out of the air. So there's a potential recovery here. Speaking of them, Kyong brings Ekal back into the VP player. We should be able to bring up a couple of more points on the overall board. And even if Bigatron Delta does go down here, they've already secured a little bit of an insurance for themselves through point rush. 17 points. 17 points is something that some teams don't even hit in one game.
Yeah. Pretty scary moment. Especially when, you know, the entire situation, the entire round has just cooled down. Teams going for revives, going to hunt for resources. Such a polarizing atmosphere from the first 3 minutes. So BTR gets a revive. We only are missing one player. We're almost extremely messy.
I hate this. I hate the fact that the flight path tried its best to eradicate half of the lobby, but these players are just way too good. Even better than the
full
game
lobby
itself. Yeah, full lobby back at the 9th minute mark. This is a recipe for disaster for sure. And this is going to be a bigger disaster than that flight path earlier.
Yeah, no one feels good about winning the round. And if you lose, you feel even worse, right? Because you don't know who you went down to. Like, how do you... I mean, it tests the skills of the players adapting to situations, but you can only adapt to so much, right? If like they are sit you, there's really nothing else you could do other than trying to fight your way out of it.
Yeah.
So maybe playing at the edge of the circle in this situation is not the it's not the worst choice after all.
Why esports would love to argue with you on that, because they're coming in from the very edge. Twisted Minds trying to gatekeep them. Saming knocked down onto the ground. And the punisher for Twisted Minds because their long-range engager is no longer in here. Exposi, though, still has got that sniper on him. Diamond and Nameless working that Cassie's therapy bond. Shin all alone. Trogon will be able to take him down. And the next one on the menu will be Death. He backs away. Good solid glue wall. Nameless on the chase. And this might just be over for Hua Esports.
It's so strong. It's literally enabling Exposi. He finally gets knocked down by Tian. But Diamond will close it out. Finally, our first elimination. The grand finals. Hua Esports bow out.
Oh, Cassie's definitely in meta. The guy was like a tank just running at them, man. At one point, I thought he hit that extra at 50 HP. And you don't even need to use your medkit. Such elongated fights you can take if you've got a good partner right behind you. And it's a double Drogon rush on top of everything else. So they could take those CQCs, no problem whatsoever. But now Twisted Minds could potentially get into another scuffle as Bigatron Delta circles on it. Evos Divine on the other hand, finding Burira.
Ooh! Just got knocked down by Moshi. Gotta find out where he is because Moshi, he's having free reign of the fight right now. This is a horrible spot to be in, but they're gonna try to isolate the members of BRU. Good knock on Ray on the Jonah. That's the Charge Buster in hand. With Jonah eliminated, the playing field just got even now. Moshi on the run makes his escape. Wasana on the top side drops right down. Ray on the top side, Charge Buster in hand. They find Wasana with the Trogon, and BRU now also goes down. Moshi on the run with the mini Uzi in hand against 3 members of Evo's Divine. Drops on the ground ball, ambush by the interception by Evo's Divine as they knock out BRU.
No performance in knockout stage endpoint rush. No problem, bro. They are world champs. Holy mama, Evos Divine. They are on a solid little wind up here. G'day, though, bleeding out. He'll pick the man up instantly. Spots the first 2 teams to get kicked out here. 10 more squads alive. But Bigatron Delta and GOW both hurting.
I'm telling you, I think Ray caught BRU off guard by a long shot, right? That Charge Buster. Who would have expected him in hand to just blast through Jonah? That really messed up the formation of BRU, but again, the isolation that Evo's Divine figured out, like BRU, especially when you outnumber them. They might be a one-man armada, but again, they only have 1 pair of hands. If you got 2 guns against 1, you probably would get a trade at least. Falcons have 13 points, heavy in front of them.
Bigatron Delta has bought themselves an insurance. For all you know, it was Buriram that bought themselves the insurance. And I told you this clearly yesterday. It was Buriram that needed the 20 points because these boys are so consistent in dropping the ball at the grand finals in the recent times.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're still in the wrong manner. Well, they got 5 more rounds, right? They have done the impossible before. I'm not going to put it past them. But I'm looking at AG Global. They had a pretty rough start, and now RQ Kazu is about to wipe the floor with them.
Yeah, home ground advantage, baby. 3 players down on the ground already. Cypher can't do much here. And one final survivor. Stopped dead in his tracks. AG Globes, one kicked out. Guessed by whom? Yet another Indonesian squad.
Dang, really in taking out these Thai teams, huh? I mean, with the help of GOW, sure. Arguably the team that had the worst start. GOW ran into Falcon, but survived long enough to be in top 9. The problem is, they don't really have much members left, so they can only be the difference maker, but now Indonesia against Indonesia, Ikao completely corner, and it's going to be Alan that bails Ikao out by sniping Ray.
Oh, good one. Ice grenade just tagging him up quite a little bit, breaking down all of those glue walls, but others are trying to save him. Vi is dear alive, but Heavy up against Twisted Minds. The circle doing its damage. Hans right outside, exporting straight down to the ground. Heavy doing the unthinkable against a strong squad from the side of Thailand, but Twisted Minds still do have that survivor. Whether or not be possible, we'll have to check out later, but for the time being, Heavy survives this one. And the next one on the menu is going to be EWOS Divine, but I don't know if they're going to be doing the eating or be...
My goodness, all the Thai teams are getting just munched on by some of the teams that we didn't expect. And there's still RQ attack all around. They could be the savior. We see if Heavy runs right in. This is going to be this cleans up shop on the western side of the map against RQ Kazu. GOW finally perishes to the blue, but Kabi shows up. Evil Divine at Twisted Minds get knocked out. RQ Kazu eliminated. Went down to top 6.
I cannot believe they're watching this during EWOS Divine. Hey, back to final player. Krillin should have reacted a little bit faster with the Groza, but at least they know where they are. And WAG, the team from Vietnam, is the first one in this next circle, and they've got the greatest vantage point. Got 2 back-to-back champions of the 2 biggest tournaments in the recent past. The champions of the Esports World Cup, as well as the reigning defending champions of Southeast Asia, doing it once again when it's most needed.
Oh my god, if Falcons land another 40 bomb, we could be looking at history repeating itself. We have just lost Bigatron Delta. I don't think EWOS Divine will survive for any longer, but you're right, AJ. WAG have the best spot. But if Falcons somehow takes over that, or maybe if Heavy joins in, this could be Falcons' round.
Absolutely, but Heavy attacking the wrong team here. Vietnamese squads on the same side. Falcons, on the other hand, trying to inch on closer. Those glue wall melters are going to be stopping them. Double Riptide Rhythm, breaking down the defenses of WAG. They have nowhere to run. Straight up into Heavy.
They got 18 eliminations. This could be the monstrous round that Falcons has shown us before. When it all mad more with the snipe, and we know how deadly he is. Assistance coming in from Heavy, and WAG pincered by 2 different teams. This is a horrible spot to be in. Heavy on the low ground, not really much to work with. Falk slowly inch closer towards WAG, but look at one more. He's keeping tabs on both of them.
Yeah, great rotation by Heavy here, taking advantage of WAG being attacked by Falcons, and they slowly move down towards the bottom. This is a disadvantage positionally, advantage to stay out of the battle, allowing Falcons to do a majority of the work. Heavy is just waiting to be the final predator, and they're planning to make Falcons themselves their prey.
Yeah, Falcons, they realize slowing it down as much as possible. We see the Riptide Rhythm just to clear out those blue walls to prevent any sort of rotation. But Falcons also have their own Riptide Rhythm, setting it towards WAG. The grenades are starting to fly in. WAG as a unit trying to move away, but the sniper behind on fire, finding Krillin. And Vitan shows up. WAG being a victim of their own making. Falcons and Heavy working together to take them out.
Yeah, Vitan is the one that claims that life there. So Falcons doing a majority of the work here, trying to prey on them. But of course, Falcons making sure they get it done a little bit more efficiently this time round. Now Heavy finally moving in for the final sequence of battle, but Peter is in a deadly spot. He takes that backstab position, and 3 players quickly pounce onto him. Hans going down for the shutdown, but Peter too slippery on his feet.
They do get one more though, but Peter somehow is still surviving. Heavy has Falcons cornered. They could just go in for the wipeout. They just gotta land their shots. Kiroro against Vitan. Vitan trapped outside the blue. Falcons lose a 2 member. One more won't be getting help. Peter on fire, both on the ground. He's down to Kiroro. The new member, Horizon Line, brings on fire back up. Down to a 2v2. Hans, Kabi, they want Kiroro. They cannot find him on fire. Gets back up at the right, safe by the Horizon Line. A 2v1. Hans, a wall in front of him, and the blue zone behind is gonna run out into danger, but makes it back just in time. What is the plan though? Falcons at 24 eliminations as Hans starts to heal himself back up, but it is such a tough round to win.
A massive round here for Falcon with a booyah. It's quite tough to think that they do not. They've already done the point rush job as well as the first game's work, all in this one match at Bermuda. A problem with the drop spot? No problem indeed. Falcons flying high as anticipated here on the most important day of the competition.
We're seeing it repeating itself, AJ. This is the beginning of a chapter that I think we have read just 3 months prior. A monstrous opening round. They scored 40 in round 1 in the EWC finals, 37 for the FFWS fall season finals. They got 5 more rounds to go. Falcons really stepping up when they needed the most. Maybe they were the ones who have truly been hiding. But one big highlight was that goddamn horizon line on fire, really saving the.
Absolutely. I mean, it was a 2v1. Kororo could have clutched it out, right? We've seen moments like that, but it was a tough fight for Kororo. On fire, standing right back up. That's why, I mean, the items definitely have to buy it and keep it in your pocket. It saved the day here. 4 Falcon, 4 on fire. Beautiful stuff. Massive round. And no point rush, really. For heaven's sake, no problem for Falcons. Just like that, they have guaranteed that #1 spot dominance for themselves with a great lead over the other teams.
Yeah, even with 70 head start points, it really felt like it didn't matter for BRU or BTR because Falcons have just shown them what they can achieve without much of a head start, despite an underwhelming point rush, stage for Falcons. Look at what they did, right? They lifted the trophy and went back home with it. And this could be the beginning of that, exact same sequence again.
I mean, they just keep time and time again. Unbelievable, because we've seen the hustle, and this was not a overnight project, right? Falcons taking over CGGG, and CGGG most definitely not a team that was built over one day. We saw the hustle over the years. You know, players like Coscu, they've been here. They have had their downtime. They have most definitely enjoyed some part of the limelight, but never as champions. And the very first season that they get taken over by Falcon, the competition, amazing stuff overall. But I have to say, this is mind-blowing. Because point rush matters not to Falcons. How many teams can say that, Husky?
No, not really. Honestly, not really.
Even Buriram can't say that.
No, they have not won a tournament that has point rush, at least not in the recent year. But you know what's funny? That means Falcons have won 2 out of 2 tournaments since they joined Free Fire.
Yes.
This could be their third, right? Again, the golden road is still there.
Yeah. I mean, most brand for sure. Literally, the moment you pick up, because CGGG wasn't perfect. It's the same roster. I mean, of course, they've added one more here, but it's the exact same boys. Just the extra ignition, just the extra pump of, I'm very sure, some good amount of budget behind. You gotta love the budget that Saudi Arabia brings, but also, right, the kind of support that the organization has been giving these boys clearly has been able to take them from where they were and put them a couple of steps higher, because this is a whole other squad. Confidence just bursting through the roof, but consistency, what we could not find in the past years, it's just pouring out of them.
Again, they show up when it really mattered the most, right? You could play 1,006 rounds at the grand finals would be the most important, would be the life-changing rounds for you. And Falcons always showing up at the right time. I guess this is how it feels when you start pumping 11, right? So, I want to hear what Team Falcons have to say, so let us throw it to Surabaya and let the host talk to them about this initial booyah.
Our grand final today is so insane. The first booyah belongs to Team Falcons. So, how is your feeling right now since the stage here is so hyped like this?
รู้สึกยังไงบ้างคะที่วันนี้เรามาเล่นแล้วก็มีบรรยากาศของผู้ชมที่เขาไฮป์แล้วก็ขนาดเนี้ย
ก็ตื่นเต้นสนุกครับ
He feels fun and so excited because the crowd. Dia bilang di sini sangat seru dan dia benar-benar excited untuk melihat kalian semuanya audiens yang ada di sini. So you got a lot of kills in the first game. How to get it? ได้คิวเยอะมากเลยอะทั้งที่มันเพิ่งเกมแรกทำยังไงถึงได้ขนาดนี้
ก็ต้องขอบคุณ BDR ครับที่มาแจกแต้มให้
What did he say? Okay, he said that you are to give us a point. Oh, okay. It's so interesting. He said, dia bilang, terima kasih banyak Bigetron udah kasih poin. Bigetron, let's go. You can show it.
I have a question for you. So, you can see right here is RQ Kingdom. And I heard that RQ is focusing on Team Falcons. And the hype from them is so insane. But from this, or you feel more even energetic?
คือเขาบอกว่าจริงๆแล้วอ่ะ
เขาเหมือนจะได้ยินว่า RQ คาสุเนี่ยโฟกัสทีมฟอลคอนอยู่ตอนนี้รู้สึกกังวลบ้างไหมเขาโฟกัสเราอะ not at all
What is it?
not at all
Dia nggak ngerasa sama sekali terganggu dengan adanya RRQ yang fokus ke Falcons.
Last questions to end our wrap here. This is a very beautiful trophy here. Are you planning to hold it again with your teammates on fire?
ตรงเนี้ยก็คือโทฟี่สำหรับการแข่งขันในครั้งนี้แล้วมันสวยมากๆแพลนไว้ไหมคะว่าจะถือกลับบ้านอีกครั้งหนึ่งในฐานะแชมป์ซี
ก็คิดว่าต้องทำได้
I think I can do it
Saya pikir dia akan dapetin ini semua. Oke, kita lihat nanti.
I also agree with him since his performance today in the first match is really with a lot of eliminates they got, but also their skill is so amazing. Thank you so much for watching our interview. And now, fight for legacy! Thank you so much, and let's head back to our caster, and I'll see you guys in the second game.
On fire, doing it again in the opening round of a grand finals with lots of eliminations. Great opening, sets them up for success regardless of what happened in Point Rush. I mean, AJ, are you starting to believe that history might repeat itself for the third time in a row?
Man, I mean, even when people were thinking, like, okay, Falcons, I guess they have faulted, it was always a 50-50. It could either go really good or really bad. You just need to wait for... And I think you don't really need to be Einstein to figure out based on clue from map number 1 that these boys are not here to just win a couple of rounds, but they are here to be champions yet again, to defend their throne and to give away, right? They are the reigning defending champions of Southeast Asia. Just one game, bro. Just one game. They have obliterated their opponents. They have a lead equivalent to the most number of points a team has picked out during Point Rush. They have a 17-point lead at that number 1 spot. How? How does anybody do that?
I wish I have an answer, right? I've been asking ever since they won
My
Spring.
God.
And again, big part of it, on fire, 9 eliminations, 6 assists, 3.7k damage. And on top of that, is also what is Falcons doing differently in the grand finals compared to knockout stage and Point Rush, right? I've always tried to categorize it as maybe they just went out for more eliminations. Maybe they just played more aggressive. But I think that's just the tip of the iceberg. I think they play a lot more cohesive as a team. And special shout out to Kororo, because in that final round, sure, we give On Fire the credit for having Horizon Line survive a 1v2 for the longest of time before they won the round. So this man is one step closer